I'm going to tier list video game consoles for Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, and Sega, strictly based off the look of the console, the aesthetic, if you will. I think I've got everything and all the different models and stuff. We'll see, I guess. If I missed something, comment down below and let me know what I missed, because it's quite possible I did. Do all the normal things content creators say to do with videos, and let's jump into the tiering. All right, so I got my tier list good to go. We have the tiers of the GOAT, which we will do at the very end. We have the S tier of Legends, A tier, amazing, B tier, nice, C, fine, D, and F, who approved this. I also believe I have them all in order of like release, as well as the publishing companies that we're going to be doing. I do have the PSVR 2 on here twice. Ignore that. That was an accident. Anyway, let's jump into the tiering. Kicking things off, the classic, the OG, the NES. For what the NES was, I think it's fine. The design is fine. I actually tiered the other one already. I think the design is fine for the original NES, and then this other altered version, the Model 2 of the NES, that one actually going to go down in the tier, because what's with the little weird roly thing? I don't know what that is. I'm not a big fan of it. Then we have the original Super Nintendo, which I do like. This one going into the nice tier, and the altered version, the Model 2 of the Super Nintendo, also going down in Both these like altered models that Nintendo did for the NES and the Super NES, I don't vibe with personally from the aesthetic. Virtual Boy. Look, from a design standpoint and a production standpoint, who approved this? F tier, get it out of here. Lord have mercy. The original Game Boy, it's fine. For what it was fine. Game Boy Color. Now, for these next couple, I understand these aren't other models, but I still wanted to tier them separately because it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. So like the solid color Game Boy colors, nice. The transparent colors, amazing. I love the transparent colors. So going over the N64, this is also nice, but the transparent colors, amazing. I love the transparent colors. That was the N64s that I had. As I had the green one, I think the blue one, and the red one. Love the N64 transparent colors. Those are the GOATs. GameCube, legend. It's a box. It has a handle. What more could you want? Plus the little disc is really cool. Dude, GameCube, legend. Absolute GOAT. I love the GameCube. The GameCube is flawless. The Game Boy Advance. It was amazing. I like it. It's looking back on it now with what we have with the Switch 2 and the Switch, like, it's just like you saw the beginning of where they wanted to go, kind of, with the design. So I'm giving it the amazing. Game Boy Advance SP. It's also going in amazing, but it's going to go a notch above the Game Boy Advance because, it had the light and it was foldable, and that was cool. Game Boy Micro. I'm putting that in the nice. I think it's a really nice design. Like, I think if you guys have never held one, it's really interesting, man. Game Boy Micro is really cool. I wish I would have had one. The Wii. Throwing that up into the amazing tier as well. The Wii looks great, looks awesome. The design for it, the top part with the GameCube patterns, just the base, everything about it looked amazing. Now the Wii Mini, not a fan of. This is going down in the One thing I don't like for a lot of consoles, GameCube is going to be one of the probably few exceptions, is I don't like that pop-out cover, that pop-up cover. I've never been a fan of it, and I believe that's what this Wii had. Just not a big fan of the Wii Mini. The classic DS, the Fat Boy, legend. I love it. It feels premium. It feels nice to hold. Everything about it. This is a goated console. The DS Lite, however, that is also in the I have both. I have the Fat. I have the Lite. The Lite just feels like a poorly made product. It's just kind of DSi, never had one. I do want one. It's fine. It's fine. It is what it is. Wii U. The console itself is nothing special, nothing to write home about. It looks like a DVD player. The tablet, though, was really interesting, of where they wanted to go with it. I don't think it's trash. I think it's just fine. I think the idea was sound. It's just the execution was so-so. The original 3DS, I think, is also just fine. The 3DS XL, I would put in the nice. The 2DS, who approved that? Who approved the 2DS? It is supposed to be a portable console. Like, this thing being unfolded, you can't fit it in your who approved this? I can't stand the 2DS. I look at it and I get mad. That thing is so ugly. Then you have the new 3DS, which is fine for what it is. And then you have the best of the 3DS line. You have the new 3DS XL and the new 2DS XL. They're both amazing. They both look great. The Switch, legend. The Switch is awesome. Like, look, like the premise behind it, the look of it, incredible. Love it. Looks cool. While, you know, it may not be the most powerful, while there might be Joy-Con drift, we're not talking about that. We're talking about aesthetic alone, and the aesthetic is awesome. Switch Lite, I'd give it to amazing. It's really, I never held a Switch Lite until I got, I believe, the Animal Crossing one for my wife, and it's honestly kind of neat. It's kind of cool to hold. So I'd put it up in the amazing tier. Switch OLED, also in the legends. Switch 2, also in the legends. Look, just everything about the Switch family, like that, besides the light, just looks so cool, man. The tablet, the controller, Joy-Cons, dude, the dock, everything. The aesthetic of it is top notch. Love it. Original PlayStation, the OG PlayStation. Not a fan. Same thing with the PS1 Slim model. The PS2, though, the brick, a legend. I love the brick. I love the big consoles. Might be a hot take on that. Most people prefer Slims. I like the big consoles because I like how they feel premium, right? Like like the money you spent is really justified in the size, right? I love it. Slim, it's a pop-up cover, but I don't hate it. I had a Slim, I had a big one. I'm putting it up in the nice because while I don't like the pop-up cover, the PS2 Slim still felt premium and still felt like a premium product. PS3, the OG one, the $600 launch, a legend. Again, I love the big consoles because I love how premium they look and feel, and this console looks like the $600 price tag. I love the aesthetic of the original PS3. And like I talked about in my tier ranking of video game case designs, which you should go watch, I loved the original PS3 case design where it had the full text of PS3 like this console has before they swapped to the Slim with just this, with the acronym PS3. I loved the PlayStation 3 full text on it. I love the glossy look. I love the chrome. Everything about it looks amazing. Next is the Slim for the PS3. I'd put this in amazing. I think the Slim for the PS3 looks very, very solid. I think they did an amazing job for the PS3. Now that this other PS3 Slim, this is I don't like it. I think this had like the slide cover. Horrible. It felt so damn cheap, and it was cheap. Wasn't this thing like $200 or something? Yeah, you could tell. The price was well worth it. Next up, we have the 4 PSP models, which 3 of them, there are very minimal differences, but there are still models. This is, I picked colors here to help me remember which is which. So we have the 1000, the 2000, the 3000. Let me go ahead and start off with the 3000. I'm going to put it in fine. Borderline but I'm still going to give it props to the fact that it is the PSP, and the PSP felt so futuristic. What I don't like about it is how cheap it feels, like with the back, where the back coloring is like that glossy kind of plastic. Meanwhile, I know for a fact the PSP 1000, which was my original PSP, throw on that and amazing. I love that more matte finish on the back, and I think PSP 2000 also had the matte finish on the back, so I'm going to tier it the same way at amazing. That matte finish just makes it feel that little bit more premium. Again, the PSP just felt so cool to hold. It felt futuristic. I love the PSP. The PSP is super cool. The PSP Go, failed concept, but it looks cool as hell. Amazing. Borderline legend. I could legitimately put that thing up in the legend and feel happy about it. Original PS4. Throwing in the amazing category. The legend category. Looks great. This is the PS4 that I have. I think it looks awesome. I love it. The design is amazing on it. It's simplistic. It's to the point. The PS4 Slim. You know what? I would also put up in a legend. Like, they didn't do much to it. I'd even put the PS4 Pro in the legend. It's very minimal changes between them, but they all just still look and feel like premium products. Shout out to the PS4 generation, man. Absolutely crushed it. PS Vita, this is the original model, which is called the OLED model. You could call it that. Legends tier, man. PS Vita is awesome. The PS Vita, the second model, this actually has an LCD screen, is really the main difference. Just for that, I'm bumping it down to amazing tier. The PS Vita is still really cool and needs to get its due, but it's, you know, I should have kept the OLED. PSVR 1, put in the nice tier. I mean, it looks fine. It's whatever. It looks like a standard VR headset. The PS5, the original model with the disc. Who approved this? Dude, I hate the PS5 design. Like, I mean, honestly, I'm tempted to throw every single one of these things down in the F tier. This one is fine. I think that one is fine. The one thing I don't like about the PS5 is that you can't lay it flat and it look normal. You can obviously lay it on its side, but it doesn't look normal. Aesthetically, it doesn't work. The non-disc model looks more natural. The disc model looks like you had a tumor thrown on it. It feels like the disc model definitely came after the fact. And it's kind of the same way how I feel towards the Slim. So this Slim is the digital, this Slim is the disc, and I just don't like it. The vibe, the aesthetic just doesn't work for me. The PS5 Pro, I'll put it in fine. I don't care about any of the PS5 line aesthetically. I do like the joke that it looks like Seto Kaiba if you put his head on it, but other than that, I don't care for it. The Portal, it's a goofy design, man. Throwing it in who approved this. I mean, the Portal, I'm sure, especially as they continue to improve it and make changes on it, I'm sure is a cool product, but just the design for it where it's like you just cut a DualSense in half, threw it on there. It's just goofy, man. PSVR 2, throwing this one up in the nice as well. I'd give it a notch above the PSVR, though. I can't get it right. Just because I think it does have that more premium look to it. I like the all white versus the black. From there, again, I put PSVR 2 twice. Ignore that. We got the original Xbox. Throwing that in the S, dude. Again, I like the big consoles. I like how premium this thing felt when I got it. I think the design looks cool. I love the Massive X. I love like the rubbery Xbox on the top. Just a top tier console. I love it. The original Xbox 360, I would actually only put this one in amazing. Just the quality for it was really nice, but it did feel kind of cheapish to an extent of just the general feel. And that's especially true with the Slim, which I'll put in the nice tier. I love the touch. The touch screen was really cool. My dog turned off my console a lot, so that was annoying. But the feel for it was just so-so, and it's the same thing for this last Xbox 360 model, which is kind of like the same as the Xbox One model. I would just put it in nice. I mean, it's fine. Xbox One, I would put up in Legends, though. Back to what I've said, I love the oversized console. This thing feels premium when you hold it. The Xbox One Slim, I would probably just put in amazing, and the Xbox One X, I would probably also put in amazing. The design for both of them are really nice. The mini fridge, the Xbox Series X, this thing definitely has a premium feel to it, but the design is basic, so I'll say nice for this one. The Xbox Series S, I don't like the black fan, really throws it off, throwing it in the fine tier. And then the Xbox Series X all digital, throw it down in the, let's say I don't know. Should I just put it with the same? I'm a physical guy, man. I like my physical game, so it not having the slot just looks weird to me. We'll put down it just being a box with no physical game slot looks weird. And then finishing off, we got the Sega consoles, which this here is we have the Model 1 of the Sega Genesis, I believe. Or did I mix some of these up? I'm not sure. I didn't play Sega Genesis or Saturn, so I'm sorry if I mix these up. But I think this is the Genesis Model 1. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. Either way, design for it, it's fine. This model for it, don't like it. Game Gear, I'd give it Game Gear amazing, man. I like what they were going for at the time. I like what they were going for. I respect it. And then I think this one is the Saturn, maybe like the Model 1 Saturn. I think it's fine. This is Model 2 Saturn, I believe. It's also fine. Then we got the Dreamcast, and I'm not a big fan of the pop-up covers, but I'd put this bad boy in amazing. I love the Dreamcast, man. The Dreamcast design is super cool. I'm here for it. And now that brings us time. It's time to crown the GOAT. What is the greatest console of all time in terms of its aesthetic? Obviously, we're going to be pulling from the legends here. We got a lot to pick from. I love my GameCube, but I'd probably take it out. Even though, I don't know, man. The Cube is really neat. The Cube was really cool. All the Switch, dude, is really nice. I love the original DS. All right, DS would be eliminated. DS is out. The Switch line is in play. GameCube's in play. Brick PS2 out. Original PS3 in play. The entire PS4 line out. PS Vita out. Xbox out. No, in. Xbox One out. So we're down to the Switch line, the GameCube, the original PS3 and the original Xbox. That's where we're at on this, on what I think could be the GOAT in terms of aesthetic for a console. God, I really don't know which one to crown it to. I feel like my opinion's going to change on the day, because I will say, from straight look, the PS3 is awesome. I love the original PS3 design, but the GameCube, it's just so stupid, and I love it. All right, the GOAT of aesthetics for console designs. The rubbery feeling on the Xbox is really cool. I like how large. Ah, man, this is so hard. What is the single GOAT of console aesthetics? You know what? My eyes keep coming back to it. Let's give it to the original PS3. I know that could be a hot take, because the original PS3, and then really the PS3 line as a whole, can be considered like a ticking time bomb. And the original PS3 bombed for a lot, sales wise, and it kind of failed the console launch initially, and it kind of had to improve over time. But I don't know if I'm just on an island, dude. I love this console design. I love like the matte look. I love how premium it looks, which it should for the price point. The chrome, I believe the PlayStation logo on the chrome was the colorful logo as well. Everything about it is super sick. If I had to do a second placer, I think I do the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is really nice. Third placer, original Xbox. I like the design of that a lot. Fourth place, GameCube. Fifth place, that's probably it. That's probably where it fell. Is right there. Is PlayStation 3, the OG, the big boy, fully backwards compatible. The Switch 2, the original Xbox, and the GameCube. I think that's my top 4 of the GOATs. But there's only one GOAT, and that for me right now, until I change my mind later while I'm editing this video or after it's uploaded, for right now is the original PS3. So yeah, I don't know. Hey, let me know down in the comments below, what is your favorite console of all time based on strictly aesthetic, just the look and the feel of the console. We're also not talking controllers here. I want to do a controller tier list later. This is strictly the box. What is your favorite? What is your least favorite? That's another one to shout out. What is my least favorite out of here? Probably the 2DS. That's the one that I get the most aggressive about. I think the 2DS is such a stupid design. I can appreciate to an extent what they were trying to go for with the Virtual Boy, but at the same time, it's terrible. I do also hate the PS5, but the 2DS is probably my single most hated. So we're going to move that one to the very end. So yeah, what's your most hated? What's your favorite? Let me know in the comments below, and drop a comment down below of another tier list that I should do, and I'll tier it sometime for a video. Do all the normal things content creators say to do. I've done like 5 videos in a row. My voice is going out. I will talk to you guys later. Come watch Gamesthetic. We're live usually every single Saturday. Check out some Rogue Energy. Check out the merch store. Join the Discord. Subscribe. Be a friend. Get out of here. See ya.